Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to sit down and talk about 15 life lessons that I've learned since becoming a mother. Feels like it's been ages since I just sat down and had a chat with you guys, like podcast style. And I've made quite a few videos like this in the past, like things I wish I'd known before I became a mum, new mum advice as well. But today I really wanted to focus on the lessons that I've learned that I'm going to take through my life with me. And I would love you guys to join in the comments below. If there's any life lessons that you've experienced since becoming a parent, please let us know in the comments. And if you're new to this channel and this is the first video of mine that you're seeing, then hello, I'm Emily. I'm a mum of 3 and my eldest is 10. So been a mum for 10 years now, which is crazy. And I really feel like I have learnt a lot, and I post 3 videos a week. So I would love you to consider subscribing if you like this kind of video. But with all that said, let's get into my life lessons. Also, please excuse the random flowers that I've just placed on the couch. The background was looking so empty that I put that there, but I don't think it looks quite right. But anyway, so my first life lesson is that your goals still matter. And this one might be quite a personal one to me, but when I became a mother for the first time, I found it so all-consuming. I was completely obsessed with my newborn baby, and it was like the world stopped and I would have happily quit my day job, stopped all my hobbies, and just focused on him all the time. And I know that doesn't happen for everyone, but that is how I felt. And now that the boys are getting older, I actually think it's so important that you continue to set yourself goals, that you continue to have friends and hobbies and like your own life separate to the kids. My youngest son is actually starting school in September, and I'm so grateful that I do have other things that I will be able to focus on when all of my kids are at school. And for me, having goals and a career and hobbies that are separate to my children make me actually feel like a better mum sometimes. Although I still massively suffer from mum guilt, if I can go away for like an hour, have a run, or do something that I love, I know that I'm going to come back with more energy and more time and be a more present parent with my children. So I would say, especially if you're a new mom, like don't think you can't set goals for yourself. Don't think you can't still achieve so much. Whatever it is, if it's fitness, if it's starting a YouTube channel like me, if it's like carrying on with your career or anything, you don't have to stop setting goals or having dreams just because you're a mother. If anything, I think when you're a mother, you almost do more than ever. There's a saying that is, the more you do, the more you get done. And I completely agree. Like I started this channel when I had 2 very young children at home and I worked 4 days a week, and it was actually just crazy. But somehow you make things a priority, you find the time. If you give a busy mum just 1 hour, it's amazing how much they can get done in that time, because we are masters of multitasking. So I would say don't put anything on the back burner just because you've become a mum. Keep your goals and your dreams and whatever you want to do. Like, don't think that you can't achieve it. The next lesson that I wanted to share with you is that it's okay to let your kids be bored. And I had read about this in so many different parenting books, but I actually didn't experience how beneficial this is until we were locked down during the pandemic and all 5 of us were at home for an extended period. So you guys know me, if you followed my channel for a long time, you know that I love buying toys. I have like 50,000 million toys because I am also like a big kid and I love playing with them, and I do get quite involved. Like if we're playing Play-Doh or we're coloring, like I'm often right there with them. But during the pandemic, that was impossible because we had to carry on working. So if I had a conference call or I was doing something to do with work or helping one child with schoolwork, there were parts of the lockdown when I was like, you guys just have to go and like do your own thing, entertain yourself. And for the first time, I experienced how good it is to let your kids just be bored. They get so creative, they role play, they would choose the toys that they actually do really like. Like Caleb started to show a huge interest in food and in like being a chef and like cooking Jackson is so artistic and he was like everything to do with drawing and coloring and painting. Fraser, so sporty. And actually letting your kids be bored really does show who they are and their interests. So don't feel the pressure to constantly be playing with them all the time, because letting your kids be bored can actually help them find out who they really are. The next life lesson is don't sweat the small stuff. And there's a book that I've read with that title. I think it was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff Because It's All Small Stuff. And that is so true and evident when you become a parent. And if you're a perfectionist, then that almost has to go out of the window when you become a mum, because there will be things out of your control and things that are out of your hands. There have been moments in motherhood when I've genuinely thought, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Like, I've had a child with a punami, and then another child who's unwell, and then another child who's wanting a snack and a work deadline all at the same time. And you're literally like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but somehow you put one foot in front of the other and you get through it and you're okay. At lowering your standards and your expectations makes getting through life so much easier. The next life lesson is a bit of a silly one, but I really wanted to include it, and that is that practical and functional clothes are so much better than looking good and looking stylish, and motherhood has 100% taught me that. I actually put this jumpsuit on today because I wanted to show you why I love it so much. If we ever have a day out with the kids, I tend to wear this because one, it is literally an outfit like all in one and it's just done. And two, it's got giant pockets in it that you can fit a vlogging camera, you can fit keys, you can fit phone, you can fit like everything into this outfit. I often wear leggings as well, but I like the ones with the pockets on the side so you can stick your phone in. Like, it's all about pockets when you become a mum. And also when you have a baby, you very quickly realize that all those cute little baby shirts and baby outfits are not comfortable, and actually what they want to be in is like zip up onesies all day. So that is something I'm definitely going to be taking through the rest of my life because life's too short. And the next life lesson is that your thoughts and how you frame things and react to things is so important. Whether you have a good day or a bad day, it really is down to you, or I should say it's down to us. So the way you react to things, like say someone spills a drink at home, I could react to that by shouting and getting stressed out, and then everyone will feel bad after that. Or I could react by saying, oh, don't worry, quick, go and get the cloth, let's clean it up together. And that will literally decide how we're all gonna feel for the rest of the day. I try to read as many like positive motivational books as I can, but a really simple thing that you can do if you're just feeling a bit down is think about how grateful you are for things. If you just write down like 3 little tiny things that you're grateful for, it really can switch your mood and make you feel so much better. And the next life lesson is a funny one, and that is that parents are just human. I think when you become a mum or a parent for the first time, you have a newfound respect for your own parents. You're like, oh wow, they would have done all of this for me. And you're like, actually, I can't believe that. But also the bubble bursts a little bit because you're like, I'm a mum, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't actually have a clue sometimes. And then you realize that actually your parents are just human and they did the exact same thing. So cat's out of the bag, mum. I know you watch all my videos, but I know you're just human now. The next one is really cliche, but it's also so true, and that is that everything is a phase. So you've probably experienced this yourself when your child is going through teething or the 4-month sleep regression. You realize that it all is just a phase, or I've also heard people call it a season or a chapter, which is quite nice. But what I've learned, and this is something that I'm going to carry through my life as well, is that yes, all of the bad things or like the hard things, they're all a phase and they will change and they will develop and they'll get over it. If you've got a fussy eater, like don't worry, because one day chances are they'll probably eat everything. But not only are the bad things and the hard things a phase, but the really good things are as well. So when you have a little 6-month-old who just sits there and they're all like chubby and just beautiful and you just want to eat them, like that phase goes as well. Or when you have like a really chatty little like 1-year-old, that will go as well. So just really, I know it's very cliche, but try to enjoy it as much as you can. At the moment, the boys are just such lovely ages. Like, as I said, they're 10, 7 and 4. They want to hang out with me all the time. They want to be my my best friend, and I'm just really trying to soak that up because I know like the good stuff is as much a phase as the hard stuff. So the next one is actually one from Matt. Last night when I was talking about this video and I was like, oh, I've got all of these life lessons. I was like, have you got any life lessons? And he said, you can't please everyone. And that is just so true. I would say you can't be ready and prepared for everything, and you also can't please everyone. So don't try to. There are times, you know, I like to plan, and when I go on holiday, we pack absolutely everything, but I will guarantee that on a day when we go out and, you know, I've got my bag full of stuff, like that's the day that someone's gonna cut their knee and I just won't have a plaster or band-aid on me. And you know, you can't prepare for every single thing. So, you know, don't be hard on yourself. And also, yeah, with people, you can't please everyone. So you might as well please yourself or follow your own routine or do what's best for your child or for you at all times. And obviously sometimes people will, you know, think you're selfish or not understand. But at the end of the day, if it's gonna make your life easier, then just do it. There were times with my first when I would like agree to go to parties that were at bad times or just say yes to everything when really I should have, you know, been selfish for the sake of him and for our sanity. And the next life lesson that I've learned since becoming a mother is unconditional love. And I've heard about people talk about unconditional love before I was a parent, but I don't think I personally had experienced until I had my own kids. And I'm not saying that you have to be a mother to have unconditional love. You might feel it for your sister or your friend or your pet. But for me, actually, a lot of my relationships, like it is conditional love. You know, with my husband, it's conditional on the fact that he treats me well and all of that. Whereas with the kids, of course, I will love them no matter what. And I really want them to feel that, you know, even if they mess up or they do something wrong, I want them to be able to come to me and just know that I will love them either way, you know, all the way through, and just make them feel super secure. And the next life lesson is don't compare yourself to others. And I say that I learned this in motherhood because when I became a new mum, I used to compare myself to others at play groups, and I would compare my baby as well and like constantly be thinking about his development. But then I quickly realized like there's no point in doing that. All babies are different. They all grow at different rates, and actually they all like catch up with each other. Like now that the boys are older, they're very similar to their peers. And Matt often jokes that, you know, when they're 18 and they're going for a job interview, like no one's going to ask them how old they were when they potty trained. No one's going to ask them when they knew their whole alphabet. No one's going to care when they're older. Like all these little things that we get worked up about, like can they write their name? Actually, in the grand scheme of things, like they'll catch up and it will all be fine. So don't compare yourself to others in motherhood, but also that's something that I'm just going to take through my life. And I definitely do that in business as well. I try to just focus on what I'm doing and, you know, grow my own grass. What's that saying? Water your own grass, and just focus on that because it doesn't serve you. And the next life lesson is to be present in the moment as much as you can. Now that's easier said than done because we live in such a busy world. Everyone is so hardworking. The kids have a million clubs. They have amazing social lives, and we can access everything through this, which is normally in our pocket or in our hand. So as much as you can, try and be present, even if it's for just 10 minutes to chat to them about what they're interested in. I'll often go on the trampoline with the kids. I can't access my phone there, and they just love having that present moment, and it does wonders for your mental health as well. I also find that the kids have loads to talk about when it's bedtime. I don't know if you guys experience that as well, but they won't have anything to say, and then as soon as it's bedtime they'll like open up and tell you loads about their day. But my point is, try and be present. I'm trying to be a bit more mindful as well. The next lesson is that guilt is not helpful. I have really struggled with mum guilt. I've talked about it before. For me, the second that I became pregnant, I started to experience guilt, like thinking whatever I ate or did during pregnancy, I'd feel guilty, and then it just carried on and got stronger when the baby and the children were actually here. So even if I go and have my nails done or go and have a hair appointment and like leave them for a little bit, I would like eat myself up about it. I would feel really bad about it. When it comes to fitness, I feel for me that's like one guilt-free way of having me time, because I can justify it in my head that it's actually for my health, and if I'm healthier and I don't get sick as much, then it's better for the kids overall. Like, that's how my brain weirdly works. But I recently saw something that actually really helped. There was a woman on Instagram, I think you pronounce it, her name's Anna Mather, but I follow her and she's got some good reels. And she said the other day, like, she literally had a phone charger in her hand, and she was like, think, like, every time your battery runs out, and like, just think of yourself actually plugging yourself into the wall. Like, every time you have a tiny bit of me time or do something for yourself, visualize you're like literally charging yourself into the wall, and don't feel guilty about it. You know, everyone needs to recharge and come back stronger. And the next lesson is one I've talked about a million times on this channel, but it is that routine is everything. It has just helped me so much having a routine while I've been a mother, and that's something I'm definitely gonna carry on. I guess I'm that way inclined, but also if you're a bit of a perfectionist, I found having some kind of routine as a parent would just give you back a tiny bit of control, because everything can be up in the air. But if you know, okay, they're gonna go to bed at this time, so I can do that. If they're gonna have a nap at this time, they're gonna eat at this time, just really massively helped me. And in motherhood or parenting, I find that if you get the small things right, it can make such a difference. So all the unimportant things, you know, like just making sure meal times are at the right times, bedtimes, like if you get all the small things right, then life is just so much smoother. And the last lesson is one to do with your significant other, and it's something that I definitely learned during parenting, and that is to be a team and don't keep score. When we became parents for the first time, I used to think, oh, why doesn't my husband just do that, or no to do this, or no to do that? But actually, at the end of the day, if you just work together as a team, and whatever gets done, it doesn't matter who has done what, like as long as it happens and you're like strong together. And that was more evident than ever during the lockdown, when we were all at home and we were trying to homeschool and work and like keep the house going and everything else. Like, it doesn't actually matter. Like, there's no point in arguing about it. We just need to like work together and like all pitch in. That is all the lessons that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you found it interesting. As I said, please put any of your life lessons in the comments down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.